Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is holding talks with his security cabinet over Israel's long-term strategy in Gaza. He's expected to approve on all-out occupation of the territory, a decision the UN warns would be catastrophic.
Will Israel take control of all of Gaza?
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we want to do. We want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the awful terror of Hamas. We don't want to keep it. We want to have a security perimeter. We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces.
Thousands of people marched through Tel Aviv calling for a stop to the IDF's Gaza expansion plans. It's the largest protest Israel has seen since the start of the war, posing a significant challenge to the authority of the Prime Minister. Diana Magnay has more on Israel's plan from Jordan.
Israel, as the occupying power, which it is technically under international law in any case, should hold over the civilian population in Gaza. It is the occupying power already, just as it is in the West Bank and in East Jerusalem, and should therefore manage civilian life. But that is clearly not what Benjamin Netanyahu wants to do. And I think that this vague, at some point, we'll hand it over to Arab forces because we don't want to govern it ourselves and we don't want to control it, it's very much a sort of kicking that idea further down the road. And I don't think we can really take it that seriously, given the fact that in negotiations he has always ruled out any kind of authority that might involve the Palestinian Authority. So I think that's kind of pie in the sky at the moment, and potentially just talked about to sort of sweeten the blow for a full-blown military expansion, which is extremely unpopular. It's unpopular with a large swathe of the Israeli public who want this war to end. It's unpopular with the hostage families who are demonstrating outside that cabinet meeting right now because they're scared about what it will mean for the remaining 20 hostages. It is unpopular within the military leadership who have admitted to that. They would rather see the army pare down operations in Gaza rather than ramp them back up still further, because it is an exhausted army. It is overstretched, and it would require the Chief of Staff to bring in more reserves and to put them into densely populated areas like Gaza City. Ground troops there would have to engage in fierce fighting. It would put more soldiers' lives at risk. And it is unpopular internationally. You mentioned the UN. This is not something that the international community wants to see, because it will bring more death and displacement to the civilian population in Gaza, who have already been displaced multiple times. What we understand from Israeli media is that we'll see Israeli troops trying to push into Gaza City and in the north and push the population who are there, evacuate them down to the south. In the south, we see very densely populated areas which are basically Gazans living in tents squeezed up against the sea in what is known as Al-Mawasi, which is the sort of beach down from Khan Yunis to the Egyptian border. They don't have food, they don't have water, they don't have sanitation, they don't have medical supplies, and they are killed when they go to these 4 aid distribution sites that are run by the so-called Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Gazans think of those as a death trap, and they are very scared about a full-blown military occupation, which will squeeze them still further. We understand today from the US ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, that the US wants to fund a further another 16, well, a total of 16 aid sites across Gaza. Now, if those are managed properly, that should provide more aid. But at the moment, what we have seen since these 4 aid sites have been up and running is slaughter each time that Palestinians try and secure aid. So it is hard for the international community, and it is hard for people in Gaza to have much faith in Israel and the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation's provision of aid. So I think for a lot of people, what is happening now inside that cabinet meeting brings with it a lot of consternation.